Have you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome? It's when the prisoner starts to fall in love with their captor. Sounds dark, right? But what if I told you the fairy tale we grew up calling Beauty and the Beast might be the most beautiful example of it? Watch this till the end, because once you see it this way, you'll never look at love the same way again. When we were little, Beauty and the Beast felt like magic. A kind girl, a cursed monster, a love that broke the spell. But what if that story wasn't really about love? What if Beauty never truly loved the Beast but learned to survive him? We were told Belle chose to stay, that her heart saw what her eyes could not. But if you look closer, she stayed because she had no choice. A castle that looked like gold was really a cage dressed in candlelight. At first, she hated him. He was angry, loud, unpredictable. But slowly, she began to notice the good moments, the rare times he spoke kindly, the times he didn't shout. Those tiny sparks of kindness became her only source of light. She began to think, maybe he isn't that bad. Maybe he cares. Psychologists call it Stockholm Syndrome. It's when someone held captive begins to develop feelings for their captor, not out of choice, but out of survival. It all started in Sweden in 1973. 4 people were trapped inside a bank for 6 days. When they were rescued, they refused to testify against their captors. Some even defended them. They said they felt understood. That's the horror of Stockholm Syndrome. It's not about violence. It's about confusion. The heart starts to protect what it fears. And before you know it, fear begins to look like affection. So maybe Belle didn't fall in love with the Beast at all. Maybe she fell in love with the moments that didn't hurt. The silence between his anger. The small smiles that felt like sunlight after a storm. To a child, that looks like romance. To an adult, it looks like survival. And the Beast, he isn't just a villain. He's what happens when pain turns into control. He wants to be loved, but he doesn't know how to love without power. He cages what he fears to lose and calls it protection. And that's how both become prisoners. One trapped behind walls, and the other trapped inside his own darkness. We love the ending. The spell breaks. He turns human. They live happily ever after. But maybe that's not a happy ending. Maybe it's just how we want the pain to make sense. We are told that if we love long enough, anyone will change. But love cannot heal a wound that keeps reopening. Real change doesn't come from captivity. Real love doesn't demand your silence. Real love doesn't need a cage. Maybe Belle's real transformation wasn't about taming the Beast. Maybe it was about seeing through the spell, understanding that kindness and sacrifice aren't the same thing. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. Maybe the real happy ending is not love that breaks a curse, but love that finds freedom. Maybe the Beast was never him. It was what love made her believe. We all have our castles, places we stay because they once felt safe. But love isn't supposed to feel like walking on eggshells. It's not meant to shrink you. So if one day you wake up and realize your story feels more like a cage than a dream, remember, you were never meant to be the prisoner. You were meant to be free. And that's the truth behind Beauty and the Beast.